Believe it or not, cars like this color actually have higher resale values than normal car colors. But there is a problem with colors like this. Alright, I want to do a quick video about car repair. This car got hit over a year ago, I guess. And somebody hit me in the rear. And it took a while to get the money for the repairs, and they tell you to go to a certain repair shops, which is fine. The guy that I went to wound up being pretty good. I got hit here on the bumper and a little bit here, but mostly the bumper. The windshield and the back window was a little messed up. So they fixed that, painted the bumper, and this is an odd color. If I'd suggest to you, don't get an odd colored paint because it's really hard to match, especially if the paint's been 2 or 3 years old in the sun. They had a really hard time matching this color, this odd green color. I like the color, but the odder the color, the harder it is to match. If you're going to buy a car, get like a white or silver, but this odd green color is really hard to match. And what they did, which was really nice, and I thought I was going crazy when I seen the guy do it. This is the part that you had to paint, the bumper in the rear. He wound up sanding this entire side of the car, I think up to this door, the front door. And then he wet sanded it, and then he polished it. And this whole side, you can't tell that there's been a replaced bumper in the back. On this whole side of this car, it looks really streamlined and well. He did a really good job. But then when you go over to this side, where he didn't streamline it and phase the paint into the other existing paint, you can actually see slightly that you may not be able to see it on the camera, but the paint's a little darker on the bumper than it is on the actual car. The farther away you go, the more you could see it. There's a slight tone. I'm not complaining about it, but just be aware that if you get these funky colors, you're going to have trouble with the guy matching the paint. And what he wound up doing, I think, is fixing a scratch here on the side, but he never painted or merged the paint into the current paint job. He just basically did the bumper on the right side of the car, and now there's a slight it's slightly off in the color. I think the guy did a great job. I don't think he could have done any better than he did. But I'm just letting you know, when you buy a car, the color matters. White, black are probably the primary color you want to get in a car, or solid color, no metallics. The metallics are where it goes kind of crazy. This has some sparkly gold in it, green, and some blue even. And it was really hard for the guy to match it, and I don't blame him. But I think he did a pretty good job. I could actually drive down the road and I could look at people's cars and tell if they had repairs done, because the paint is usually off. Especially if the paint on the car is over 2 years old. This car is almost 6 years old, and I was in the accident when it was like 4. So the paint was already worn out from the sun. But be aware that when you buy a car, make sure you get a paint job that can be matched. And be aware that when he does paint it, he's going to have to feather it into the new paint job, basically by wet sanding the entire side of the car to match the bumper, which worked on the other side.